It's my honor to introduce her. Okay. Welcome. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Eleanor. I am among the many, many people who are fans of Eleanor Cliffs because she does do battle with the likes of John McLaughlin and Pat Buchanan, and demonstrates time and time again that it is intelligence and bearing and facts that outweigh bluster every time. So I'm delighted to be here with Eleanor and with all of you. And it's like being in an early suffrage meeting with all these hats in this room. This is fabulous. I feel like we've stepped back in time, which is appropriate because Bella has, for so many years, rightly belonged with all of the heroines and heroes of the fight for women's rights that started in this country. Well, you could date it, I guess, to Seneca Falls. There were people who were before that, but certainly will continue long after. But anytime the history is written about what women have done and what they have said and how they have stood up for themselves, Bella's name and her accomplishments will rank up with the best of them. You know, every single one of us, I suppose, has some story to tell about Bella. Many of us in this room certainly did not know Bella as well as we wished we had. I think Eleanor spoke for a lot of people when she talked about being a little intimidated by Bella. But there are others in this room who are longtime colleagues, friends, partners of Bella's in the work that she did throughout her life. And there are so many aspects of Bella's extraordinary personality and her commitment that just always brought not only a smile to me, but a renewed commitment. Just last month, in a WEDO report detailing our progress since the Beijing conference, which I think was a turning point in many respects. Bella, of course, was there, both at the conference and at the NGO conference in Wairo. And any objective assessment of what's happened since Beijing around the world, I think, gives some real positive signs of changes that are occurring. But Bella was still challenging us to do better. She wrote, "We must all wear the hat of an advocate and bring passion, persistence, and perseverance to our work." So today, I hope that is what we do, not only for this gathering, but for the days, weeks, months, and years ahead, to wear the hat of an advocate, to wear it with pride and to wear it every day. The program says it all with the wonderful cartoon on the front. It shows Bella arriving at the gates of heaven in typical form, and of course the gate has been completely flattened. And by the time St. Peter knows what hit him, Bella has blown past, hat on head, bag in hand, leaving him only time to mutter, "Come in, Miss Abzug." Now, since Bella did pass away, Eleanor Roosevelt has been keeping me updated on all the dramatic changes in heaven. As you might guess, Bella wasted no time whatsoever. She has already started organizing a whole slew of what she calls non-governmental angels, all of whom are now sporting buttons reading, "A woman's place is in the heavens." She is lobbying hard for a law dictating that women must make up at least 51% of all angels because, after all, there are more women there than men. And even the clouds are now wheelchair accessible. As Eleanor told me, it's not all that different from what she did down on Earth, and we're grateful for that. Tomorrow begins the celebration of Passover, when Elijah the prophet will visit every single Jewish home during the Seder. Now, I've always thought of that as a miracle. Bella considered that all in a day's work. And I can see why. As I've traveled around the world in the most interesting places I've ever been privileged to visit, Whether it's Central Asia or Africa, where Maxine Waters and I just came back from a fabulous trip, I'm always meeting women who introduce themselves by saying, I'm the Bella Abzug of Russia, or I'm the Bella Abzug of Kazakhstan, or I'm the Bella Abzug of Uganda. Now, what these women are really saying, whether or not they wear the hat of an advocate like Bella, is that they, too, are pioneers, that they are willing to take on the establishment and the institutions of their society on behalf of the rights of women, but not just that, on behalf of what families need, on behalf of peace, on behalf of civil society, all the many and varied causes that Bella stood for throughout her long and active life. When talking about the peace movement, Jimmy Breslin said, some came early, others came late. Bella has been there forever. Now, she managed to time her birth to coincide with the year women got the right to vote. I mean, I have this image of her saying, no, I'm not coming until, I could be part of this great movement. She used to joke that when she was first elected, her two daughters, Liz and Eve, were happy to get her out of their house and into the other house. But all of us know better than that. We know how devoted she was to her family, and her husband has already been mentioned. But certainly for those of us who were not intimates of Bella, seeing her moving into the House of Representatives, waving her fist in the air and taking on the men in Congress was a thrilling and unique sight. My only regret is that she's not still in the House doing battle with a few of today's members. Every time I walked into a room of NGOs at an international conference over the past 6 years or so, I could always count on seeing the hat. It was there somewhere. It was Bella who usually organized the women's caucuses at these conferences. It was she who fought to ensure that women and NGOs always were given their rightful seat at the table. She liked to say, first they gave us the year of the woman, then they gave us the decade of the woman. Sooner or later, they'll give us the whole thing. She never stopped fighting for the whole thing. So when women around the world say to me, I'm the Bella Abzug from somewhere, I know what they really mean is that they never give up. As all of us know, Bella was not always in the best of health during the last few years. The wheelchair, like her hat, became part of her signature and even a source of her strength. When I saw her in Beijing at the women's conference, I was pretty worried about her because she wasn't feeling very good, and she was just a little bit slower than usual. And I asked her how she was doing, and of course, she wouldn't admit to being anything other than just very tired. But I asked her if she'd mind if I'd ask the doctor who traveled with our delegation to see her, and she agreed. So the doctor took a look at her and gave her some advice and I think some medication. And within a very short period of time, she'd adjusted to the travel and to some of the difficulties that she was confronting, and was back out there just battling away, especially against the Chinese government with their placement of the NGO conference at Huairou, which for those of you who were there, how many of you might have been there at Huairou, was very far from Beijing, and it was raining cats and dogs, and there was a lot of mud out there, but that did not stop Bella by any stretch of the imagination. Once again, she demonstrated to all of us that no sickness, no obstacle, nothing would ever dampen her indomitable spirit. She never stopped organizing. She never stopped demanding results. I remember seeing her not long ago at a ceremony we held at the White House to give out awards for successful microcredit efforts. This was something Bella cared deeply about. It was a commitment we had announced at Beijing, and all of us were incredibly excited. I always thought that maybe when Bella came up to talk to me, the conversation would be something like this. Hillary, this was great. I'm so glad to see you. Hope springs eternal. And I thought, okay, maybe this will be the moment, right? This is fabulous, microcredit, these great women doing this wonderful work. Okay, she comes to the event. She comes up to see me. She doesn't say, this was wonderful, this was great, isn't it fabulous that we're fulfilling our commitment to Beijing? She said, okay, now here's what we got to do next. But I loved her for that because she never, ever let anybody forget that no matter how much we thought we might have accomplished, there was so much more to be done. I thought a lot about Bella when the election results from this Tuesday came in. There are now 55 women in the House, 9 in the Senate, and that's up from only 15 when Bella served there 25 years ago. Maxine Waters is here. Eleanor Holmes Norton is here under the hats. I can't see if anybody else is here from the Congress. But every one of us who are proud of Maxine, Eleanor, and all of the women who are serving so well in the House and the Senate know that we owe a debt of gratitude to Bella. She helped pave the way for this progress we can celebrate, and she will keep prodding all of us to do better and better. I'm told that last year, after giving a wonderful speech that brought the House down and the audience to its feet, she expressed a little disappointment that the audience hadn't been bigger. But she said, I gave it everything I had. Bella always gave it everything she had, as a loving mother, as a wife of a man who told everyone he met that he loved her more than life itself, as a friend, as a passionate advocate, as a leader, and as a trailblazer. She gave everything she had to all of us as well. And I think part of what we owe Bella is to give everything we can to what we believe in and what we care about, so that we can pay tribute to her, not just this morning, but every day. And we have to let her know, and I'll tell Eleanor to let her know, that we will surely miss her, but she will never be forgotten. Thank you.